So we wrote our system. Now let's make sure our system's correct and show it algebraically. I'll set up substitution and elimination and then solve. Substitution is easy, they're both set equal to y, so we simply have to set them equal to each other. X squared minus 5 equals the opposite of x plus 1. Algebraically, or elimination method, is going to take a little more work. We have our parabola, x squared minus 5, and we have our other one, y equals opposite of x plus 1. And now we need to make opposites. Multiply this bottom one by negative. Negative, x becomes positive, 1 becomes negative. And now go ahead and add them together. Y minus y is 0. We have x squared, we have a positive x. And negative 5 plus negative 1 is a negative 6. Let's see if substitution over on this side will get us the same thing. I'm going to add x and subtract 1 on both sides. Nothing over here, so we get 0. And I have x squared, I have an x, and I have negative 5 minus 1, which is minus 6. Notice right here, we are at the same stage no matter which method we used. Both work, both are viable options. So let's go ahead and factor. Negative 6 multiples that add to 1 and be negative 2 and positive 3. So I'm going to have x minus 2 and x plus 3 equals 0. Set both those equal to 0. X minus 2 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0. And I get x equals 2 and x equals negative 3. However, sadly, I am not done yet. I need to find my y's. I'm going to plug it into this bottom equation. If x equals 2, y equals negative 2 plus 1, or negative 1. So I have the point 2, negative 1, which is right there. Awesome. If x equals 3, negative 3, I have the y equals positive 3 plus 1, or 4. And I have the point negative 3, 4, which happens to be right there. So I did do the problem correctly. So I have my system up here, which is right, and my algebraic solution showing down here that I solved correctly. For number 7, we are given our parent function of f of x equals x squared, and we need to describe the transformation of the following functions. So let's look at what's happening. We have plus 1, so I know that's up. I have this minus 5. Remember, I want to say inside parentheses, we know it's left and right. Minus 5, we think it's going to be left, but remember it's opposite, so it's technically right by 5. Right 5. Then this negative sign is going to give us a flip. When it's inside that parenthesis, we're going to flip it over the y. I'm going to move it just the way I talked about it. So we're going to go up 1, followed by right 5 units, and then flip over y the axis. And there we go. Now in this next one, I see this negative. Because it's outside, it's now flipping over the x-axis. And I have this plus 4, which is going to move me up. So if I was going to describe my transformation, I would say it was flipped over x-axis and moved up 4 units. And there we go. With this part, number 8, we're given our parent function and we write our new equation. This is actually one of my favorite parts. So I have my parent function, f of x, I like to just think of it as y. And so when I write my new function, remember how we did it in class? I said y equals, and then I just did an obnoxious parent function, absolute value of x. Within there, I need to flip it over the x-axis. X-axis is a negative out front, so I'm going to shove a negative out front. Shift it down 2. Down 2 goes on the outside, so I'm going to minus 2. And then left 3. Let me think about this. Left are negative numbers, and so we're going to give it a positive value inside our function. Remember, those are opposites. Our next parent function is x cubed. So I'm going to do the same thing. Y equals big parentheses and a cubed symbol with an x inside. Notice that cubed symbol right here goes outside our parentheses. Remember, outside parentheses. So this is not going to be on your summative, but it's still good to know. Y direction by a factor of 2 goes outside parentheses, so we're going to shove a 2 out front. Right 4, I know it's inside parentheses, so I know for sure 4. Going right is positive value, so we're going to tack a negative sign on it. And if we flip it over the y-axis, remember the x-axis up here went out front, so the y-axis will go inside our parentheses right in front of that x. And there is our new function. With number 9, we're given an absolute value graph, and we need to now graph the function so it's reflected over the x-axis. We got rid of this part. Shifted right 2 and up 4. And when I do this transformations, I'm going to do it just exactly in the order they give us. So if I have an absolute value, first I'm going to reflect it over my x-axis, and I'm going to put it right on my new graph. So for me, that is going to look just like this. There is my reflection through all my points, perfectly, pretend, stay with me, you know. Okay, so I reflected it. Next, I need to shift it right 2. I'm going to move every dot to right. Right through all the points, nice and perfect. There we go. And last but not least, I'm going to go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make my V coming off of that dot. And so right there in blue is my perfectly transitioned new equation. However, not only do we have to draw the equation, but we also have to write our equation. So I know my parent function is y equals the absolute value of x. I also know I flipped it over the x-axis, which I know goes outside. I'm going to fix this x. And I went right 2. So I know it goes inside my parentheses. Right is in the positive direction, but because it's inside parentheses, we're going to give it a negative sign. And then last but not least, I went up 4, which goes outside, just like we think, positive 4. And there is not only number 9, but also number 10. And last but not least, we have number 11. A lot of people struggled on this, so I want you to pay very close attention. We are given a function. We need to graph this function, and then graph our new function, which is shifted up 4 and left 6. Write an equation of that new one, and then find a point on it. However, before we do anything, graph your parent function first. And I know my parent function is an x cubed. So I'm going to do that first before I do anything else. In purple, I'm going to have my parent function. I have points at 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 8, negative 1, negative 1, and negative 2, negative 8. I'm going to go ahead and graph that parent function. So off of this parent function, I'm going to graph in blue my original function. F of x is x minus 2 cubed minus 5. Minus 2 is going to move me right to, it's opposite of what you think when it's inside. When it's outside, it does just what you want to say, so I'm going to go down 5. So I'm going to take this point right here and go right to 1, 2, down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same with my center. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next point is going to be right here. Same with one way up here. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go ahead and graph my new equation. Right there. So this one is my f of x. It's this function that they start us off with. Now what the problem is saying is we need to graph f prime of x, or the new translated version. And that version goes up 4 and left 6 from the blue graph. So this is our start. So from this blue graph, we need to take our point, go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, left 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. Up 4, left 6, every point on my graph. From here, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, left 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I now have my graph that is my f prime of x. It's the blue graph shifted up 4, left 6 to make my beautiful red graph. And now what we need to do is we need to write the equation for the red graph. So when you write an equation, remember we start with our parent function, y equals x cubed, and we need to think about how has it moved. And when you consider this movement, you only look at, we'll make it dark orange, you only look at from the parent function, how did we get to our new center? How many over and down? So we went left 4 units, and we went down 1 unit. And how are we going to write that in our equation? Well, down 1, we just subtract a 1 from it. Left 4, remember it's the opposite of what you think, so we're going to have plus 4. And right here is our new equation for the red line, which is what they wanted. Now, last but not least, our final thing, which we'll do in pink, is to looking at the graph, using the graph, so by looking at your beautiful red graph, find your x value when f prime, which is just a fancy word for y, equals 0. So right here, y equals 0, and we only care about the red graph, so we want this point right there. Big, huge arrow, and go ahead and give me that ordered pair for that point. X is -3, y is 0. And so the red graph is 11a's answer. Our equation is 11b's answer. And this ordered pair is our answer for 11c. Study hard, make your note card, and you'll do great on the summative tomorrow.